Hey guys, Aaron here again. Welcome back to Help Me DIY. Today I'm going to talk about the controversial topic of de-snorkeling your Porsche Boxster 986. Now there seem to be two camps on this. Those who say yes, do it. It should be the first mod you do to your Boxster. And those that say no, absolutely do not do this under any circumstances. You will destroy your Boxster. So I've been doing some research today and I'm going to go over the pros and cons that I found on the forums and other YouTube videos. And yes, as a spoiler alert, I am going to de-snorkel mine at the end of this. So if you just want to skip ahead and see how to do it, all you have to do is skip ahead to this time right here. And that's when I start doing the mod. All right, there seemed to be a big list of cons that people mention. So I just wanted to run through them now. And as we are taking this thing off, we can talk about some more of them in detail. See if they really hold weight. The first one is that people say that the hot and dirty air from the engine is now going to be sucked in instead of the fresh, clean, cool air from outside. And some people claim that there is gas mileage reduction. However, there are other people who say that they get better gas mileage with this. Another con is that people state a safety concern for sucking in cigarette butts and other things like that without the snorkel in place. But I gotta think it would be a really rare coincidence for it to get sucked into the side like that. And if you're really that concerned about safety, there are a million other things out there while you're driving to be much more concerned about than that. So you probably don't want to drive at all. One of the big ones, and the one that seemed to hold the most weight to me, was that water could get sucked in. So the name of it is a snorkel. Kind of made sense that part of the purpose was to keep water out. So in researching on one of the forums, somebody actually put a link to one of Eric the Car Guy's videos. And I'm not saying that he's smarter than me, but he's got a lot more subscribers than me. You can try to remedy that by subscribing right now. But his video showed how putting water intentionally directly into the intakes of your engine, obviously in a very limited amount, actually helps remove carbon deposits by heating that water and it evaporating and cleaning it up. And he went on to demo it by pouring water directly into the engine. So obviously if you get too much water in there, it will flood and stop running, but I have never heard of that happening by a de-snorkeled Porsche Boxster. So on the contrary, this seems to indicate to me that if a tiny bit of water does get in there, then there's a good chance that it's actually going to help your engine. So that myth has kind of been busted for me, and that's not a big concern anymore. And some other people will say that the check engine light will come on, or can come on. And after reading more about this on the forums, there was somebody who had this to say that I thought made a lot of sense. He said that the snorkel is located upstream of the only sensor between it and the actual manifold. And that is the MAF sensor, the mass airflow sensor. And its only job is to report the mass of air, aka how much air is flowing past it, so that the DME can select an appropriate air and fuel map for the timing and injector cycle. So the side air intake on the Boxster that we're talking about here is neither a ram nor an NACA duct. So no additional airflow is created by removing this snorkel. If it was ram inducted, if the air was being rammed into that snorkel, then yes, removing it, I could see how less air would be going in, but it's just sitting there. The air is rushing by the side of the car. It's not being directed into that snorkel. Additionally, you have an air filter that is between that intake and the mass airflow sensor. And if you had any increased turbulent effect from removing the snorkel, that would mitigate it right there. So for me, all of the cons are pretty much taken care of. None of them really concern me too much. So let's talk about the pros of doing this. There are those who claim up to a 5 horsepower gain. I don't really believe that. There is a thread out there with a dyno reporting this. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Other people claim you lose torque and you lose horsepower. So again, that's not why I'm doing this. Few people claim that there is better throttle response once you remove the snorkel. Again, I'm not expecting that to happen. If it does, hey, that's great. The only real reason I'm doing it is the reason that most people do it is the sound. I think most people will agree that the snorkel is acting as a sound insulator from the engine compartment, and that additional sound will be heard from the driver's seat with the top down at higher RPMs under load. And of course, all the do not do this camp people say that that's just a placebo effect. You think you're going to hear it because everybody tells you you're going to hear it. So I just am curious. So I wanted to make a video, de-snorkel it, and see for myself. And that's probably the only way that you're going to know if there's a difference, because you won't be able to hear it in this video. You'll have to take my word for it. And that's essentially the same as taking the word from either camp in any other forum. So in exchange for my humble opinion on it, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and here we go. All right, as you guys might know, I do not have the stock exhaust, so it does sound a lot better than stock. So we're gonna take it for a quick spin for the before to see what it sounds like with the snorkel still in. All right, we're just gonna take a quick run down the road. Already, I think before the exhaust, this car sounded like an electric car to me before the exhaust. All right, here she is. So on either right or left-hand drives, your air filter is right under around this area, and this is the side that you're gonna go to find the snorkel. So we're gonna have to remove this piece and the black in here. And at the top is just a little Phillips screw. Just use a little stubby screwdriver to remove this. And that's all the hardware that you're going to be taking off. Now this has been repainted recently, and I'm pretty sure that my painter screwed this up when he took it off. I know that one side, the clips are broken and it is just held in by tape now. And Shop Dog is here to help. Bring in a stick. Thank you, girl. That's a good stick. All right, yours won't be this hard because mine has tape and slime in here that they used to adhere it because they broke my clips. So here's their double-sided tape that they put all over here. These are supposed to be two separate pieces. This one is supposed to have these clips that go into here and here and here. And you can see that this tab is broken off. It's still attached here. Yeah, don't get me started on that. And you can also see in here where they just sprayed right over this. All right, so let's go back to that list of cons. One of them is that water will get in here if you remove this thing. So first, the water is gonna, most of it is gonna get stopped by this little thing right here. Yours is black, I'm sure. And this little tub missing should not be a problem. So anyway, back to removing it. Who knows what it's gonna be like mine. But you should be able to push it down and push it up. And this is the part that's supposed to be kind of a struggle to get it out, but there is no hardware to remove. It's just a physical battle with the snorkel itself. Everybody says just to kind of jerk it around. Yep, everybody says it's a two-handed battle, and I agree. All right, it's pulled up really hard with two hands, and it popped once, and I think that's pretty much it. All right, pulled it over to the right, and it popped again. I'm just gonna pull it up. All right, so this is what my snorkel looks like. It looks like in here without the snorkel. So again, water has to get past this. If it does, I mean, there's still a little lip here. It's gonna be really hard for a ton of water to get in there. So yeah, I'm just not putting a lot of stock in those cons. So everybody talks about how you can put this back to stock. So I'm curious because nobody ever tries it. Just to see if you can snap it back in pretty easily. All right, I never heard it snap back in, but it is, I mean, I can't pull it back out now. So it's somewhat stuck in there. Yeah, I guess it did go back in. Yep, so if I pull it up, it pops again. And so The key for me, grab it with both hands, pull it up till it pops, then pull it to the right, pull it out. Came out pretty easy, goes back in. So if you do break all your tabs like they did, apparently you can just glue this thing on here, and we're gonna put this back in. Let's see if I have to add more tape later or not. For now, it's good. Okay, screw that back in and we'll take it for a spin, see if it sounds better. All right, let's try this. Yeah, I can definitely hear a difference when accelerating, and it's definitely coming from right over here on my left, directly from the intake. And it's definitely, like other people have said, it's between the 4,000 to 6,000 RPMs is when I can really hear it. If you're the passenger, you're probably going to hear it some, but definitely the driver. So luckily it's on the driver's side. Okay, so I like it. I'm going to stick with it. If I decide to change my mind later, I can always put it back in, as I found out. So I'm curious if you guys have tried it, if you are on the side of the pros or the cons, if there are any other reasons for or against that I missed, please discuss below in the comments. That's the reason that they are there, so we can all learn. Hope you guys learned something from this. I'll see you guys next time.